morning. Hi, Susan. Yes, I did cancel Friday. So what I've been doing is putting a note in the class description, um, which is so when I can't necessarily get online, I can do that from my phone. So that's my solution, as well as I can cobble it together. So I would say that, like, if you take a look at the class description. Normally, I don't fill that in unless until after class. But so if there's something in there, it's going to say, "Hey, go watch a go watch a taped one and do class that way." We have a pretty substantial library here of classes. Maybe we must be up to 100 or more than 100, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, and some I think most of the classes have a description to kind of um, jog your memory about what that might be about. Some of them I think I just never got around to putting a description in, so um, that's a that's a wild card. I don't know what you're gonna get. Could be anything. Um, and I keep meaning to go back and look at them and fill out the description, but then I never remember to do that. So there are some mystery classes in there. So happy Saturday. I hear uh, people going by down the street. I think they're doing some kind of a bike race or something. Um, so they do this bike thing down Route 9, which is the road that sort of connects Delaware City to Newcastle. And I guess they're going to do it no matter. They used to have like a whole big thing, like a party here. Well, I guess they ended here. Maybe they started in Newcastle and ended here, or maybe they did both. Maybe there was a party at both locations. I don't really know. Um, but I guess they're still going to do the Reese. They just aren't having any like festivities at the end of it, or limited festivities or something. I don't know. So it's good. It's an outdoor thing, and it's nice to encourage that sort of thing because there are a lot of other things we can do, and the weather's getting colder, so I expect there'll be um, a bit less interest in being outdoors than there was over the summer. Although I have to say that this time of year, I always get in my head that I'm going to do some more walking. And I think it's just because it's the turn of the seasons after such heat in August, that then you feel like you haven't done that much exercise, um, at least outdoors. And so I always get in my head that I'm gonna start walking more. And sometimes I do, but some years I just talk about it and think about it, and I don't actually do it. I'm not sure which year this is going to be. We'll see. It's not looking good so far, but I could always spring into action and surprise myself. You just never know. It's very funny that since my husband has been working from home, and um, he took up running a couple of years ago, and um, so he has gained sort of a new appreciation for where he lives. And before he was running and whatnot, he had thought, he really wanted to move um, in retirement out somewhere far away. No neighbors, no nothing, out in the middle of nowhere. And he thought that would be really great. But since then, he's thought, well, where am I going to run then? I really like streets and sidewalks and all of these things. And where we live, Delaware City, is really ideal for that. Everything is very walkable. It's very, very safe. They're really. I would not. I would not consider any part of Delaware City unsafe. Which is funny because Delaware City, from what I understand, has kind of a reputation as being like not a great place. Um, but here's the secret: it's actually a really great place. I think it just has a bad reputation. But we've been here 20 years, 20, oh, more than that, right? 23 years, something like that. And it has like all of the nice things about a town. So the infrastructure and the streets and sidewalks and, you know, all of that. A couple places to go. It doesn't have a lot in terms of shopping or anything. Although when we first moved in, they had quite a lot. There was a market, a real market, and a pharmacy and a hardware store and a dry goods store and a couple other things. I mean, restaurants and things like that. But those have pretty much all gone away. Good morning, Dora, and good morning, Deb. But it's still a nice place, even if there isn't much shopping, which is all right. But it doesn't have a lot of the problems. It's still small enough that it's not. Most issues get taken care of pretty quickly. And I don't know if you've ever heard it. So we're right on this main street, and we have a bus now, which comes into town, which is kind of, it's actually been doing that for quite a few years, which is surprising to me because I really didn't think they would keep up with that. And I wasn't really sure we had enough population to support that, but I guess we must because they just keep going. So this is a great time if you are interested in doing something outdoors, outdoor exercise. This is a great time to start your habit with that. One year I started walking in the fall, and I kept it up all the way through the winter. Yeah, I think it must have been a very mild winter, and all the way through the spring until it got really hot in the summer, and then I kind of stopped. And I wish I had kept going because maybe I would have done it year round then. But this is a good time to start that habit because there's really aren't too many excuses for not doing it. And I've noticed that if you have good reasons for not doing it, like weather and things like that, then you never form your habit, right? You never really, it never becomes something that's just, you just do. It's always like, oh, yeah. And that's, I think, one of the key things about building these type of habits is that you have to make it non-negotiable. It just has to become part of your routine. Just like, yoga. And you guys that come and do this class on a regular basis, you've really done a good job with that because it's very hard to maintain that, especially at home, right? If you had to go into Garfield Park to do this, you would be there, right? And once you're there, there's, you're not going to stop. You're not going to turn around and go home. So you're already put yourself into a position where you're going to follow through. At home, it's very different, right? There's a million things to distract you. You could say, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to look at the video later. I'm going to um, get back to it, right? And then pretty much the whole day goes by. And, some days are like that. Um, the past couple of weeks for me have really been, I haven't really gotten a lot done. I feel very kind of, um, and again, like scheduling your day in such a way that um, you are presented with these things you must do, and you really have to do them, is helpful, right? But if you are having um, a few days or a week where you're just kind of not getting anything done, that's okay too. Um, one one of the upsides, I think, of all of this pandemic sort of slowing everything down is that we can take some time, and there aren't as many negative repercussions to that as there might have been in a time when things were busier. Um, the flip side of that is when you do try to get something done, you forget how long everything takes. I think I talked about this before that, so when we do meditation, you've noticed, I'm sure, that some days the 5 minutes slips by and some days you're just like, oh my God, did she even set the timer? Because I'm sure it's been 10 minutes already. Um, and it's the same way with things that you have to do, right? Some days it just flies by and some days everything drags. I notice that if I have things I have to do out of the house now, the whole day is gone. Like I have to do one errand and all of a sudden it's, late afternoon. And I'm not sure why that is. I feel like, so there's like a black hole that's like sucking up my time. I don't know. I just think that maybe I'm out of practice. I'm out of the habit of doing these things. So um, it just takes longer. And I'm not really aware of that. It just kind of just sort of happens. So, yeah. So if you notice that there's some weird stuff going on with your time, um, I think it's just that things have changed. And I haven't, I was thinking about this the other day that it's been, um, you know, more than 6 months, right? Since all of this stuff went down. So that was like March. So we're in our 7th month, right? Um, 6 months is a long time. It's more than enough time to form habits, um, and pretty good habits, right? Pretty deep habits. So um, if you are shifting how you do things and you're trying to get back into doing a little bit more, um, I noticed that some things are doing stuff. Like there's some schools that are going to open up and have students. Um, there may be more activity and doing some more things as the months go by. Um, so get back into that slowly. Don't expect you're going to jump right in where you left off in March. Um, you won't. Things have changed. Um, so, and we've talked about this before that there really isn't any going back. We can't go back to where we were in March. It's never going to happen, right? That time has passed. We are into something new. And even if we get back to Garfield Park and doing all the things that we were doing, it still will be different, right? It'll be a year maybe past when we started. And everything will be different, right? We will feel different. Our bodies will be different. We'll be a year older, maybe. Um, so just keep going. And instead of looking back, just keep looking forward. Um, there's no point, there's no reason to look back. We're just going to see what happens. Keep moving forward. And maybe start walking in the morning. It's so cold though now. I'm not even used to it being so cold. This time in between, when you turn the air conditioner off, but you don't have the heat on, so the house is just, room temperature, right? And it's pretty strange. I don't know really what to wear, and I have a bunch of stuff on in the morning, but by like afternoon, you've taken it all off again. It's really it's really strange, but it's uh, it's what it is, right? Um, and it's actually really good for us to do this. Being in the house, being climate controlled all the time, not the best thing for you. Um, Getting some changes in temperature and being having your body adjust to those is good. It's good workout for your different body systems, right? Okay, so some yoga. And as we move through the practice, keeping your focus on the next thing, um, being ready for the next thing instead of thinking about what we've just done. Trying to stay, that's really what trying to stay in the moment is about. It isn't necessarily looking ahead, right? Because we don't really know what's ahead. And it's definitely not looking behind because what's done is done. It's a state of readiness. So we are ready for what will happen next. It doesn't mean we know what it is, but we know we can do it. We can just do it just like we did what came before. We are ready for the next thing. So sitting up tall, shoulders back, comfortable breath, relax the shoulders. Deep breath in, chin down toward the chest, let the head hang. Lifting up, keep lifting the chin. And bring the chin back down. Deep breath in, lower the head over to the right. Back to center, moving to the left. And back up. Lean forward, moving around then with the body. One way and the other. Back up to your seat, arms wide. Deep breath in, exhale, hands together. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands for gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lifting the arms and lower. Once more, lifting up. Right arm down by your side. Reach across. And switch sides. Back up, roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind, sit up tall, twisting to the left. Back to center and switch. Back to your center. Tabletop. Get my mat straightened out. I gotta bring my other mat in here. I don't like this mat very much. it moves all over the place. Sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Tabletop. Let's move through a few sets of cat-cow. Kind of loosening up the spine. Inhales and exhales. Back to neutral. Let's sit back on the heels again. Maybe stack the fists. Rest the forehead down. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Walk it out a little. Walk the feet up. Let's bend the knees, sort of one at a time, but keep the heels on the mat. So it's just a very small movement. And then we're rising up slowly. Standing tall in your mountain. Breath in, breath out. Maybe lift the shoulders, squeeze them back. A lot of noise in this shoulder today. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. On the exhale, right foot steps back. Set your knee down, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, stepping back, downward dog. On an inhale, we're moving forward to high plank and lower down. Inhale, lift head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And lower. Moving up. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath. We're going to step the right foot up. Drop the knee on the left, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back with the left. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, stepping back. Downward dog. Moving to high plank. And lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And lower. Moving back up. Ending up in downward dog. One more breath in, then we're stepping the left foot up. Drop the knee, Arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Back foot steps up. And fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. And back to mountain. Breath in. And out. Standing tall, really grounding down through the feet. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the left. Press down with both feet. Arms lift. Warrior one. Let's move into warrior two. Right arm extends, left arm behind. Relax the shoulders. On an inhale, we're flipping the right hand, lift it up high. Left arm by your side. And then we can bring the arm down, rest it on the leg, lift the left arm. If you want to bring the hand down, you can. Your choice. Coming back up. Release the hands. Straighten the knee. And then we're facing the side of the mat. Breath in. Hands at the waist or hips. And then lean forward. Bring your hands wherever you want. We're just hanging the body forward here. Hands to the waist, rising up. Breath in and breath out. Let's walk the feet in. So just a little closer. If you weren't that far apart to begin with, just bring them in a little closer. So just more relative to where you were, just bring the feet in a little bit more. Same thing, hands at the waist, fold forward. And you might bring your hands down on the legs, wherever you can reach them. Rising back up. Take a breath, feel lightheaded. Just bring arms over your head. Turning to face the front. Left leg out. Right leg out, left leg behind. Interlace the fingers. shoulders back. Take a breath and fold. Coming back up, back foot steps up to the front, arms overhead, and back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Pressing down to rise up. Warrior one. Moving to warrior two. Relax the shoulders. Steady gaze. Inhale, flip that left hand, lift up high, right arm by your side. And then left arm here, right arm lifts, staying here or bringing that hand down. Your pick. Moving back up. Hands by your side, straighten the knee and turn. Facing side of the mat again. Hands at the waist, let's bring them back as much as we can. Take a deep breath and fold. Back up. Bring the hands by your side and then up overhead. Back down again. Let's walk the feet together. Sitting up for your squat, hands together, deep breath. Bend the knees and lower down. Take one more breath. Moving back up. Release the hands, turning to face the front again. Left leg out, right leg back. Interlace the fingers, draw the shoulders together, and then fold forward. Rising up, back foot steps up, arms overhead, and back to mountain. Take a breath. Up at the top of the mat, arms lift, lean back a little, And then fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to downward dog. Come on forward to high plank. And lower down. Head turns to the right, arms by your side. Bring your head to the center. Setting up here for Cobra. So we've got hands about chest height. Squeezing shoulders back, elbows together. When you're ready, just lifting up head and chest. We'll hover the hands. And lower down, head turns to the left. Head back to center. We're going to lift up the head and chest and the arms and the legs, but rest the hands, palms on the mat to start. Breathe. Lower down. Let's bring the hands in front. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to start moving back. Tabletop to child's pose. Then tabletop to downward dog. stepping your feet up and then coming down to a seat. Soles of the feet together, sit up tall, and then lean forward. Come on back up. Let's lift the knees. Catch a hold of the toes or the tops of the feet. Leaning back a little. Find your balance. And then if you feel pretty good, we might extend halfway or all the way. Bend the knees again. Set the feet back down. Both legs out in front. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. Moving back up. We're going to bend the right knee and lower it out to the side, bringing that foot in close to the thigh on the left. Take a deep breath, and then we're going to reach forward, folding over the left leg. So we're not really turning the body here, right? We're kind of just trying to fold straight. So your shoulder will be moving down towards your knee, right? Moving back up. Switch it around now. So we've got right leg extended. And then we're folding forward, reaching down the right foot. Or the right leg, whatever you got here. And we're back up. Both legs in front. Deep breath in, fold forward. Moving back up, let's flex the feet. Flex and point the feet. And then moving around. one direction and the other. Bend the feet, or bend the knees. I guess the feet are probably bent too. And we're going to lower down. Resting on your back. Get comfortable here. And then we're bringing the right ankle, top of the left knee. You might stay here. You might bring that left thigh in closer to the body. And then set the foot down. We're going to leave that right ankle on top of the left knee. Arms to a T or goalpost arms, lowering. Moving back up, switch. The legs, right? Whatever you do on one side, we'll do on the other. Set that right foot down. Leave the left on the knee and then move that right knee down toward the mat. Back up. Set both feet flat on the mat. And we're going to set up for bridge. You could do supported bridge here always. We're going to walk the heels back close to the body, hands by your side. And then pressing down with the hands and the feet. We're lifting up. You can interlace the fingers behind the back if you want. And lower back down. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Take a few breaths. And we're going to move into Shavasana here. So you can just extend your legs long. Get comfortable, relax, find your I guess, that place of peace within. So, a lot of us spend most of our lives trying to craft some form of control, some form of structure to our life, right? We want to control our environment and who we come in contact with and keep everything in its order, right? That we are comfortable with. And there's nothing wrong with this, right? I mean, this is how we make sense of our world. The problem is when we realize, or when we don't realize that that's not how it has to be, and that we can't control everything, right? If you have had a pretty steady life, it can be a big shock when something blows up, right? What we talk about in yoga is finding that resilience, building that resilience, building the mental flexibility to cope with whatever life throws at you. Because ultimately, when we structure our life and build our environment so perfectly, we've kind of built ourselves a prison, right? That we are living within. We are afraid to step out of that box because we've grown accustomed to our carefully cultivated little world. We forget that we made that world and we can unmake it and we can build another world and we can cope with whatever we need to. Um, we are very strong. We are very adaptable. Don't forget that. It may not be how you want to live, but it is how you can live, right? And the more we work on our attitude, our mental feelings about this, and our emotional feelings about this, the easier it gets. Um, we find our security within rather than in the structures that we have built. We recognize that that real security and stability is always within us. It's that self, right? So no matter what happens outside, inside can be smooth sailing. Um, we can get through anything if you rely on the self, on that small, still voice within. It's going to guide you the right way. It's going to um, give you strength, give you support to get through things that may seem very difficult. And in the end, you can be happy no matter what. You may not always get what you want, but you will make lemonade out of whatever lemons you might find along the way when you are relying on that power within. So when you're ready, you can start moving around a little. Fingers and toes, hands and feet. Making your way up to a seat on your mat. Hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for being here for yoga today and for making this part of your habit, hopefully. Namaste. Okay, great. Yoga. Now meditation. 5 minutes, which may seem like more or may seem like less. Who knows? That is the peculiarity of time. So what's interesting to me about that is that we choose, right? I mean, we don't consciously choose, but it's our perception that makes the time different. The time is the same, right? Clearly it's the same. But how we see it changes it for us. Right? So sitting up tall, shoulders back, breath in and out. Just a normal breath. You can close the eyes, focusing on the breath or on that space in between the breaths, in between the thoughts. Okay, so coming back to awareness. Breath in, breath out. I don't know if that felt like a long time. It felt like a long time to me. I kept hearing the people going by on the bikes, and I was amazed at how much they talk. Like there are people carrying on like complete conversations, cycling down the road at 20 miles an hour. I don't know how fast they're going, but it's surprising to me. But there you go. Okay, so there's your Saturday. Nothing tomorrow because it's Sunday, so have a day off, and then I'll be back Monday. So enjoy your weekend.